Tonight, how the North Country is addressing mental health and children. How great is the need? 1/3 of children who show up at the emergency department in Watertown need a room to stay in to be treated, an inpatient facility. 7 News reporter Lexi Bruning explains the problem further and learns how local facilities are expanding to meet the need.
These are special walls that are thicker with special materials.
Come late April, what used to be Samaritan Medical Center's coffee and gift shop will transform into 4 new rooms.
This will be a secure room for those having a mental health crisis. That could be an adult, that could be a child.
In September, Samaritan started to expand its behavioral health unit from 5 beds with 2 overflow to 12. DeStefano says children often stay in these rooms longer until the hospital can find them the right facility.
And we've certainly outgrown the space, and what happens is when we have more than those 7 mental health patients in the emergency department, you start to progress into your medical beds.
Between December 2022 and December 2023, Samaritan saw 841 children in its emergency department for a mental health crisis. 275 transferred to an inpatient facility. One of those facilities, Claxton Hepburn's Elizabeth May Duval Children and Behavioral Health Unit. It opened in April 2022. From January 1st, 2022 through Monday, 1,344 children and teens have been treated. In 2022, 82 of them were transferred to other facilities, and in 2023, 32. CEO Rich Duval says it's a testament to the facility and what it's done for Northern New York, writing, quote, "It plays a crucial role in addressing the mental health needs of our community." Another option for kids and teens, Citizen Advocates. The behavioral health urgent care opened a Watertown location in May and works with both children and adults dealing with addiction and mental health issues. There are 4 designated rooms for youth.
It's when that youth doesn't quite meet the requirements for inpatient, but they're not quite safe enough to be at home.
And look for more to happen. With an average occupancy rate of 81%, Claxton Hepburn is hoping to expand the children's unit from 12 inpatient beds to 22. Lexi Bruning, 7 News.